I'm Andrew Armstrong, welcome to the back office. Today it's more of a repair than a tear, but there'll be a little bit of tearing, and that's because today we have the Apple keyboard. This is the classic keyboard as found on a lot of iMacs. It's the quite heavy polycarbonate. It's a very nicely made keyboard. It works really well. It feels pretty good, and the problem is I let my kids use an iMac. They use it for their drawing and they're doing all sorts of tux paint things, but if I do this, you'll see key fell off, and that's because they yoinked one off. And actually, luckily enough, one of the bits of the key fell out too. And this is the first thing you'll have to do, is get the bits out of the hole. So if you have a look here, you can see there's one stuck in here, and it's really hard. You know, I spent ages trying to grab them out, but as you saw there, the best technique is to give it a rattle, and if you're lucky, the key will come out. Well, not the key, the actual thingy, I don't know what you call them. Ah, there we go. It took a lot of bonking, but you can see here it is right there. So what my strategy is to fix this arrow key is going to be is to basically glue those bits back in place, and they're going to be quite tricky because they're quite tiny. So I wouldn't advise you do this without the use of tweezers. And I'm not really sure how I'm going to hold this in place while we're waiting for the glue to set. So the glue I'm going to use is some super glue. This is brand new tube, fresh glue. I don't know if I have to pierce it. You usually do. Yep. So just I'm going to flip the lid. It has the piercing thing. There is now an hole in there. That's about 6 grams of glue. So you're going to be seal it nicely. You don't want it to expire too quickly. And I'm just going to put one drop. And frankly, a drop on each side is too much. Make sure when you pick these up, you pick these up with a little hook part. See it there? The hook part goes out on these keys. In fact, I'm going to bring another key side by side, which I've gingerly removed, so we can actually make sure ours are the same. And what you ought to do as well, using a bit of water, and frankly, I'm going to just touch this on the tip of my tongue. Remember, superglue is activated by moisture, so a tiny bit of moisture was all you need to get this reaction started, and I've found where that should go right there. And I'm going to repeat the process for the other side. Okay. So now they're roughly in position, and the part we need to do now is actually get them dead on. So we're going to keep these side by side. You know what? I'm looking at them now. I think they're as close as I'm really ever going to get. I've just zoomed in because I need to see this on my screen. You know, I'm using it as a sort of a microscope here. If you haven't seen my back office setup, just over this direction I've got a 10-inch or 7-inch monitor connected, so I can use this as a macroscope, and that's telling me they're as close as I'm likely to get. So we just got to wait for the glue to set. Now, something you can try as well, if you've got something like this, you might just see me in frame, you'll probably see my big old nose, but have a look. I'm just going to, you know, as if you're trying to breathe on it. You know, you've just eaten a big eggy sandwich, and you're going, smell the egginess. And the reason is, often the moisture in your breath is enough. In fact, I can see the superglue starting to turn a little bit opaque in there now, to start reacting with the superglue, because you want it to sort of really get going on this. Let's see if we can see the opaqueness. There we go. I'm going to take my tweezers now and just gently probe the glue. Probing the glue. Yeah, it's still wet. So let's leave these here and come back in a few moments and try fitting it back in the keyboard. Wavy lines. I'm back and I've had a sandwich. So I don't know how long that's taken, but it's taken me the time to have a sandwich. Okay, they're moving a little bit, they move a little bit, they move a little bit. I'm just comparing the sort of side forces against this is the repaired one, just to see. Yeah, they're kind of moving about the same. I just want to see, I'm trying to work out if it's cured basically, and because it's so thin, you see they bend naturally anyway. And that might be bending a little bit more, but you know, it's as fixed as it's going to be fixed. Does that even make sense? It's as fixed as it's going to be. Right, blowing these. Put the original good one back on. And the moment of truth. There's two things that will happen. Either it'll snap these off as it goes in, or it'll just stick in there. Because the super glue hadn't dried and I rushed it, and it's going to glue itself in permanently. It's going to glue itself in permanent, wacky. Right, let's try. Okay, it took a little bit of more force than I'd expect actually, and it still didn't go in. Oh! It's a bit bent. I put it a bit bent. So just to show you, I basically clipped the ends of it here and here. So I'm going to glue this back in again, and hopefully now, because it's got those ends clipped, it'll be less critical when you're inserting it as to the alignment. So it should now fit a bit better. Seems good enough. There we go. The key is in. I'm not going to pull it because it's definitely not going to be as strong yet because the glue hasn't cured, but I'm happy enough with that. Please leave your comments down below. Hopefully that's given you some confidence in repairing your own keyboard. Please subscribe if you want to be notified of more videos, and as ever, thanks for watching.